Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on your time zone, and welcome to Moral Compass 101. It is my humble submission that you are doing well and that you have had a good week and you have continued to seek wisdom as per our topics that we have been continuing with. And without further ado, a quick recap on our last topic, where we outlined the three proceeds that emanate from the triune of wisdom, namely curiosity, competence, and contentment. My closing creed was an impulse for your quest of wisdom, which I believe you have been seeking through reverence, fear of the Lord, as per the scriptures from the book of Wisdom, chapter number 9 and verses 10. Having said that, I will request you to subscribe to Moral Compass 101 so that we can grow together and we can collectively learn a thing or two, comment so that we can interact, and like and share so that we can spread knowledge. Having said that, today, unlike most of our previous topics, our today's topic is based on a question, and the question is, are you wisdom compliant? Are you wisdom compliant? To help you in answering this intriguing question, allow me to draw your attention to the book of wisdom, that is Proverbs, chapters number 8 and verses number 12. And I will read, I, wisdom, dwell in prudence, and find out knowledge and discretion. I, wisdom, dwell in prudence, and find out knowledge and discretion. These words from King Solomon, or the wisest man to ever inhabited planet Earth, brings our attention into three items or traits that accompany wisdom, namely prudence, knowledge, and discretion. So these three virtues are your decisive that you must consider before answering the question, are you wisdom compliant? So, what is prudence? Prudence is the act of being prudent, which means acting or showing immense care, concern, and thoughts for a successful and prosperous future. Prudence is tied with our prospective future success and prosperity. The articulation of this regard necessitates, first and foremost, the aspect of finding your purpose in life in order to have a proactive pursuit of purpose. Again, we find prudence taking us back to where we started, with who are you, or what is your self-identity, the pursuit of purpose. And until you know your purpose, you find your purpose in life, you cannot have a prospective pursuit of success and prosperity for the future. Because if you're not pursuing anything, then you don't have any prospective, idea about what the future holds for you. While finding your purpose of existence solves 50% of your problems in life, passionately and diligently pursuing that purpose completes the remaining 50% and subsequently render success, prosperity, plus contentment and fulfillment. I've times without number said that 50% of the problems that you go through on quotidian basis will be solved once you find your purpose, because that's the moment you shall gear all your efforts, all your resources towards the pursuit of that purpose. And until then, you will continue suffering from identity crisis. In order to maintain consistency during your pursuit of purpose, you require stringent self-discipline, self-sacrifice, which are measures of self-control. I think that is self-explanatory that you cannot have self-control without both self-discipline and self-sacrifice. Self-control contributes to effective and efficient time and money management, which are a non-renewable and a renewable assets for potent efficacy. This means that adhering to both self-sacrifice and self-discipline, will help you to manage the most essential assets in humanity, namely time and money, or resources, where time is a non-renewable asset. You can never renew time. Once gone, once it's gone. Unlike money, which is a renewable asset that you can lose money today and make money tomorrow. In addition, prudence demands proficiency in minimums as a pathway to maximums. That prudence, or the thought of future success and prosperity, it demands proficiency in minimums as a pathway to maximums. Let me explain this. This is the aspect of a humble beginning. Unlike the present day young generation who want to start up there, life is a progress, it's a correction of bit by bit, this is the knowledge that and the understanding or the intellect of the power of foundational elements, interactive development. These are the careful planning and foresight or forethought, and a continuous improvement and leveraging them to achieve maximum outcome. This is the aspect of humble beginning, just like I said. If you can't be honest with little, you cannot be trusted with much. So let me explain it on a business perspective for it to sink well. In business, we find a concept of Pareto principle, which is an 80/20 rule, where 80% of effects come from 20% cause. In simple, 20% of investment will produce 80% or expected to produce 80%, of the profit. 20% of your investment produces 80% of your profits or your dividends. This is what we call the Pareto principle. It's a business principle, and it's also applicable in our day-to-day life, where we have said that, life is a matter, success is a matter of progress. It's a matter of coming from a humble beginning, going up the ladder. That's where the Times Without Number talk about trusting the process. It's a process, and one time I did a quote that said, spare me your glory and tell me your story, because for every glory there must be a progressive story, unless you corrupted your way to success and prosperity. But if you genuinely followed the process, then your glory must be accompanied by a story. Hence, prudence is paramount to optimistic future effect. Without prudence, optimism can only lead to unrealistic expectations or rash decisions that won't produce the desired results. Prudence therefore acts as a guiding force that transforms optimistic aspirations into tangible realities. That driving force, I once said that, if you don't have anything that is driving you, then you'll be redundant, you'll be stuck in mediocrity, and I said that passion is a power that propels your purpose, so that passion, that prudence, is that passion that will propel you to get out there and to pursue whatever purpose that is there for you and in your life. So, the second word we found from the scripture was knowledge. And knowledge and understanding are the intellectual abilities and all cognitive skills and the potential for learning and problem solving that are keen to reasoning, memory, and creative thinking. Knowledge is not only a procedural memory for daily life progression, it's also an all-time requisite for maneuvering through and adaptation to new situations in present and future life. Times without number, we are pestant, or we are told, let not a day end without acquiring a new skill, without acquiring, new knowledge. Don't dwell in your comfort, that, running is a process, it might be academic running, it might be, the school of life, but make sure that, you are always running something new. That is the way you can adapt to new situations in life, because life is not, static, it's progressive. And last time I said, the moment you stop thinking is the moment you stop living. This statement substantiates my all-time claim that I have said times without number, that knowledge is an infinite necessity, human necessity, that no one can acquire sufficient. So keep your minds engaged to acquiring new knowledge, new understanding, and new skills. Noting that wisdom is the principal thing. The insatiable curiosity of knowledge acquisition and facilitation is incumbent on wisdom. I think that's more of a self-explanatory. That Proverbs 4:6, I believe, says that knowledge is. I'll confirm that. It's Proverbs, 4:7, not 4:6, says that knowledge is the principal, wisdom is the principal thing. So, noting that wisdom is the principal thing, that hunger and that insatiable hunger and thirst of wisdom will create the curiosity for you to acquire knowledge as a facilitation that is incumbent on that wisdom. So, let's go to our third point from the scripture. And the last point is discretion. We say that wisdom dwells with three things, which we said the first is prudence, knowledge, and now we come to the third aspect, which is discretion. In order to fully articulate the effect of wisdom in matters discretion, we must consider the two meanings of discretion. The word discretion comes with two meanings. First, discretion as the freedom, underline the word freedom, to decide what to do in particular situations. Discretion as a freedom to decide what to do or not to in particular situations or circumstances. And the second meaning of discretion as a need, please note the word need, to exercise caution with your decision-making freedom. See the freedom you had from the first definition. Now, you have to exercise caution in your decision-making freedom that's incumbent on your self-efficacy and competence. When you adhere to caution, since you have already gotten the freedom, now you need to adhere to be cautious about that freedom for your self-efficacy and competence. So, we have to integrate these two meanings, of discretion in order to come with the final well-refined product. And this we shall do by this statement: the interdependence of discretion as the freedom to decide on particular matters and the need to observe caution through that freedom is depicted through your need for freedom to independently and responsibly exercise your decision-making assignment with meticulous caution for viability, certainty, and competence. Let me explain that whole paragraph. Here we are talking about, this is the use of discretion as a freedom to make decision and leverage that freedom. To leverage is to use freedom or to use a certain thing to the maximum or to maximize the advantage of a certain thing. So this is a use of discretion as a freedom to make decision and leverage that freedom or maximize that freedom, the advantage of having that freedom, by being cautious or being careful and responsible. Being careful and responsible are virtuous traits that are akin to self-control, which demands both self-sacrifice and self-discipline. for competence. So for you to be competent, you have to maximize the freedom that you have. How will you maximize the freedom that you have? You shall do so effectively through self-sacrifice, through self-discipline. These are the aspects of responsibility or self-responsibility that are akin to self-control. In other words, you are maximizing or maximally taking advantage of your freedom to make good decisions independently as a person without any external influence. The greatest responsibility, therefore, you have over your life is maximally utilize your potential to manage your freedom responsibly. I'll repeat that statement. The greatest responsibility you have over your life is to maximally utilize your potential to manage your freedom responsibly. The effectiveness and efficiency of your freedom management is tantamount to substantive and constitutive time and money management, and not limited to success and prosperity plus contentment and fulfillment. Unfortunately, a vast majority of people who ardently seek or quest for freedom are deprived of self-discipline and self-sacrifice, which are a requisite for self-control, and hence their impotence to effectively and efficiently manage their freedom, resorting to incompetence, which is a lack of ability, capability, and capacity. If you want to dig deeper on those three terms, ability, capability, and capacity, please go back to our last video, and I outlined what those three terms brings forth or means in matters wisdom. But let me explain this statement. This is an aspect where so many people are seeking for freedom. High school kids are waiting for that moment that they graduate and get out there and become 18 years of age and experience all the freedom that they want in the world. But freedom demands responsibility. It demands discretion. You have to have self-control through self-discipline and self-sacrifice. And so many people have messed their lives out of being free, out of freedom. So many people have wrecked their lives because they don't have the ability, the capability, and the capacity to manage that freedom. They don't have the discretion, that will bring the cautious measures that are needed to manage their freedom effectively. And the only way that you can have those measures, adequate measures and efficient and effective measures, is when you are in pursuit of purpose. It will be a guiding principle that will make you to totally adhere to both self-control and self-sacrifice and redeem your life from misuse of your freedom. In closing, I will deduce one of my many quotes that states, "Those who seek freedom must do so out of discretion and with discretion. Doing so isn't a matter of knowledge, but a principle of wisdom. I'll repeat that quote. Those who seek freedom must do so out of discretion and with discretion. Doing so isn't a matter of knowledge, but a principle of wisdom. Until next time, please stay safe. Blessings and shalom.